Why should you be watching football on Sundays and Saturday on screens? Why can't you play it? It will bring more benefit. You will be more physically fit. You will be healthier. Utakuwa sasa hauboeki.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe. What is happening tomorrow? I'd like to start with you, Mr. Atwoli. What is happening tomorrow for anyone who is curious and has the time to be at the place tomorrow?
All right. For some time, we have been planning this, and tomorrow, by God's grace, we are fully unveiling it in a big way. We started last year, but in a big way, unveiling a football tournament amongst churches and also institutions. And the target is for the young people. So kesho tuko Bamburi Cements Ground from 8 a.m. Na kesho tuko tuna, it's a fun day.
Okay.
We'll be talking a lot, we'll be having fun, we'll be playing football, and we'll be engaging youth one person to another. Tunagundua vijana tuko na mambo mengi tunapitia. So one way to capture them and bring them to a certain location is through sports. So that's what you're doing tomorrow. And you are calling for people who are listening to us, John, tokeeni. Nafikiri hiyo tu.
Why sports? Why not chess? Why not any other thing? Why sports specifically?
I'll give you a small statistics.
Okay.
In sports, especially football, we're majoring on football, but Mungu akitusaidia tutapanuka sports zingine. Football worldwide has a lot and a big following. Not only just in the world, but here also in Kenya and Mombasa, kuna vijana wengi wanapenda mpira. So using sports to bring people together. The revenue that sports bring, especially football, kiangalia tu kwa FIFA records, the men's football generate revenue almost 7.5 billion.
In 1 year?
In World Cup peke yake.
Wow.
Ikianza ishe 7.5 billion.
That's huge.
Dollars.
Okay.
So that sport is very ikona spirit yake ya kuvutia watu pamoja. It's a worldwide sport, and you're using it here in Mombasa kuleta vijana waje. Tutoke pamoja. Hata wale ambao wapendi kucheza, kuna wale wanapenda kuangalia, washabikie. So sport is especially football is a very good puller of young people to a venue.
All right, so powerful, yeah. Mr. Collins,
Yes.
I like obviously to understand where this started. You know, somebody could want to understand the genesis of everything. What prompted, for you to pull so many people together, so many minds to bring this tournament together?
Thank you. That's a very good question, and I would like to start off from the Bible. That is 1 Timothy chapter 4, verses 8, where it says, training your body is of value, but spiritual training is of more value. So in that verse, we are being given two aspects. That training of our body is of value, but also spiritual training is of more
value, yeah.
So this is where it started, especially as I told you before that I work with the youths, I work with the young people, both at the university and also at the church where I go, that is Crisco Central. I was put in charge of young people, and I realized most of them probably church, they shy away. So one of the things that I set to do was to use sports also to be able to bring them together. And that will, of course, as I mentioned in 1 Timothy 4:8, is of value to their body. But the other aspect, which is of more value, is the spiritual training. So the aspect of bringing them together through sports and then evangelism, so that now they get both the body training and also the spiritual training. So at Crisco, we have different branches in Mombasa. I am at the headquarters, which is in town. We have Crisco, Miritini, Likoni, Crisco, Kilifi, and so forth. So we started with a tournament just among Crisco. And it was a wonderful tournament, and we saw how the sports pulled many youths who now never used to come to church. They started flocking back. Now what we do when people go, before they do the football, there's the devotion at the field. So it's like a fellowship where now the captain, the team manager, we are deliberate about who the captain is, who the team manager is. So that young person, when he comes, they have to train. Before they start training, they have 20 minutes devotion. And that's where now they get the spiritual training. Then after the spiritual training, they do now the football, which is now the body training. Then eventually now they on board and come to church. So when we were done with the inter-church Crisco tournament, we were like, what next?
Okay.
That's when now we went and reached out to the other churches. So the first game last year in 2023, once we were done with our own internal tournament, we reached out to Sitam and planned a game, Crisco versus Sitam.
Okay.
And we just saw the crowds that it pulled. And we were like, wow. Then the day we were playing with Sitam, Crisco versus Sitam, Nyali Baptist had come to train. I mean, it was amazing the way God just pulled us together.
Yeah.
And Nyali Baptist, so, this is a church, yes, can we on board? And we started forming our ZAP group. And Elim came on board, other churches. So last year when we started, we were 10 churches.
Okay.
And we had a very successful tournament, and it was amazing. The numbers of youths, the interaction, as I tell you, both the body training and the spiritual training, it was amazing. And the testimonies we got was amazing. Then one of the things we told ourselves, we don't just want to stop at that. We also want to empower youths. We came up with a concept, Vijana na Bizna. Vijana na Bizna, once now all of us are in the ground and you have a crowd of like 1,000.
Yeah.
There are these ones who are not participating in the sports. So we tell them, hey, what can you sell? We've brought crowds to you. That's where the concept of Vijana na Bizna came in. So kama kijana anaweza uza viazi, juice, whatever you can. I mean, the crowd is there in the field. We give them that platform to be able to do. Then we also opened up those who are good in graphic design, the posters and everything, the emceeing, the first aid. So with all these other opportunities, we were able to bring on board to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Once again, my name is MC Wodanita, and Mr. Collins, and my good brother, Mr. The silent Atwoli. The silent Atwoli. The other Atwoli would have been here. It will be all nice. Zoea sauti, but in the meantime,
yes,
you're doing a really, really good job.
Thank you.
And it is so interesting because it is for my first time. I'm coming to realize that we have such like good maybe organizations, or maybe we have people who are serving God and also
Having fun.
Yes. And they are also very much concerned with youth empowerment.
Yes.
Which is so rare, you know. Kanisani watu wanaamini ni mahali pa kuomba peke yake. Wewe enda kanisani Sunday, haya rudi nyumbani. But now it is so interesting that wewe enda kanisani, enda na idea ya biashara. Wewe enda kanisani, haya kama unapenda football, kuna nafasi pale unaweza jiunga na wenzako na ukafanya kitu. And it is so interesting. And now here comes my question.
Yes.
Somebody like me, I would love to join maybe your church and also get myself involved maybe in these good initiatives you're having for the youths there. But there is a youth mwenye hana information. How have you guys established yourself to make sure that even yule kijana mwenye ako pale mashinani amepata hii information? And how often do you take that as a matter of concern to make sure that you spread the word, so that someone like me who is getting the information for the first time, if it were not for this interview, I wouldn't have known about that.
Wow.
Yeah. But now even the football tournament is there. It is a good thing.
Yeah.
Someone would just never wish to miss it.
Yes.
But now how are you going to make sure that that person who haven't heard of this information ever since you began your planning to this D-Day tomorrow?
Yes.
Mtu atagonganaje na hii information? Blue Radio ndio tutaisambaza information, lakini kuna ile groundwork. Kuna ile groundwork.
Yes.
Mmejipanga vipi?
Nafikiri acha nianze, ndo kiongozi wangu anaweza kumalizia mahali ambapo itakuwa nimebakisha.
Right.
But one thing you have to realize with young people is that they have networks within themselves.
Right.
Na ukiangalia mambo na Gen Z protests zilizokuwa,
Right.
you see how there's so much that they networked ambao like hata mimi sijapata full information, but there's so much ways they networked and mobilized each other to come to an activity.
Right.
So we have seen it also work in football. There are testimonies of various churches ambazo utasikia later on ya kwamba walianza tu na watu wawili kwa timu, lakini vijana wako na mabeste.
Right.
So wanaitana, bana njoo kuna tournament kanisani, njoo tucheze. So some people come who didn't even know Christ, unakuja unaendelea. So the one particular strategy that is working for us so much right now is the young people pulling friends from their spheres of influence.
Alright.
Kijana kuna best mtaani anajua ako fiti boli na kuna tournament church, anamwambia bana cheki Ochola, hebu tokea bana, kuna game on Sunday na sisi tumeweka katika mice, tumeweka free. We are not looking at unaenda church mara ngapi kwa wiki, hapana. Mradi hii church imesema huko pamoja nao, sisi tunakuchukua huko pamoja nao. So it is pulling a lot of young people to the meeting. A lot, by the way. Hata kabla tuende kwa mambo na Facebook na Blue Radio, which will now make it even bigger. Just one on one, kibeste to beste. Relational, tunaitanga relational evangelism. Njoo manze tucheze game. So it is pulling a lot of people. And there are so many, as of there are around 17 churches that have joined hands and institutions that have joined hands. Na kila church hii, hatuwezi eleza kila mpango wa church hapa, but each of these churches have programs that are catered for you. Na kama uko hapo na unanisikiza, either wewe ni mtu wangu ama ni unanisikia kwa mara ya kwanza leo, I'm here to encourage you that there's so much happening in our churches right now that we do not have time because of the program ambayo tuko nayo, but there's a lot of programs happening in our churches. Sitaki nieleze yangu alafu nikose kueleza mwingine, but I'm sure if you come to Elim, where I come from, if you come from Crisco, if you come to Nyali Baptist, if you come to KG Chuda, if you come to Maximum Miracle Center, if you come to any of the churches that are part and parcel of MICE 2024, there are programs for the youth. Especially mtu ambaye maisha yamemwendea mrama. Sometimes you want really to refocus your life and do things correctly. There are programs in our churches that have been catered to help you spiritually. And when you are well spiritually, I believe that physically, mambo ni economically, now you can bounce back and continue.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that question, MC Wadaneta. I hope I pronounced it right. Yes. So in addition, we do posters. We do posters that we circulate in through the different WhatsApp networks, through the church networks, and we also have social media handles. Of course, as I said, we started last year, so slowly by slowly we have seen growing. Let me mention that we are under our patrons. We have 3 patrons who've been amazing in terms of giving us guidance. We have Dr. Anyenda, who is the Reverend of Nyali Baptist. We have Pastor Gashiku, Senior Pastor Gashiku Nzinga, who is also my pastor at Crisco Central. And then we also have Bishop Zekaria Mangandi. Bishop Zekaria is the chairman of Mombasa Pastors Fellowship. So when we started, because of these patrons, the Bishop Zekaria invited us to meet all the pastors in Mombasa. There was a forum for all pastors in Mombasa. So such avenues, you are able to tell them about this program and how we are reaching out to young people, and then they disseminate the same to as far as Likoni, Magongo, all those regions that we're not able to reach. So that's also an avenue that we used, so that they are able now to tell the youths that this is happening. And now that it's also a lifestyle and health program, allow me to mention one of the things that is really a challenge to the young people right now. I can call it addiction. Now that this is a program of health and lifestyle. And many people have heard the word addiction, but there are 2 types of addiction. There's a product addiction and there's a process addiction. So most people think that addiction is probably, the way the one they know, it's just a drug addiction. But you have 2 types of addiction. Product addiction, and there's so many that are having challenging our young people, and then we have process addiction. And then there are 3 stages of addiction. The first stage is experimentation, where probably somebody is just experimenting. Then the next stage is the casual use, where now the young person does it, either the process addiction, and by process addiction I mean things like even social media addiction, phone addiction, pornographic addiction. And then the third stage is the social use. Okay? So addiction is a mental and spiritual disease. It's a mental and spiritual disease. It's a family disease, where in the family, when you have a young person who's addicted, the whole family is affected. And in the family, we usually say that there are 2 aspects. Either there's one who is the enabler, facilitating that addiction, or there's another one who is a scapegoat, making maybe this young person to be addicted. So it's a family disease. And families spend a lot of money in terms of just handling addiction by our young people. And that's why now one of the ways to tackle addiction because as I said, it's a mental and a spiritual disease. You can't tackle it just physically only. Okay, one of the ways, and that's where now we come in with sports, which is the body training, and spiritual training, which is now the evangelism. It's a two-pronged approach.
Yeah.
So addiction, one of the things that you need to do is, there is the lifestyle, there is breaking down the day-to-day, the daily routine of that young person. And that's where now sports come in. Because there's something that locks him, there's something that gives him this feel-good energy that makes him, spend like 3 hours just addicted in whatever he's doing. So if you can break that cycle, and this is where now sports is powerful, if you can break that cycle, that routine of addiction, whereby now he's having a physical activity that he can engage in, and as he's engaging that physical activity, there's this other part of spiritual training now, where now the spiritual disease is tackled in terms of whatever that is, whatever that this young person is suffering from. And that's why we say, as they go to the field, before they start playing, there's the devotion.
Yeah.
Some do it 20 minutes, some doing 30 minutes, and then they are able to play. The pastor can't reach that young person in Tani, but in the game, in the different games that they are doing, this captain, this team manager, is somebody who is like a disciple, somebody who understands the addiction aspect, somebody who understands the spiritual training and also the sports training.
Yeah.
So this young person is helped. And what we do, we don't look forward for them joining church immediately. It's a process. Because as I said, there are different levels or stages of addiction. Those who are in experimentation, it's very easy to win them back and break that cycle. And they're able to engage in the football and come to church and start engaging positively. Those in the third stage, which is now the social use, now that's where, because it's rooted, so it needs to take a bit of time in terms of breaking that routine. Yeah, and I can tell you one of the things, I'll give you an example, like gambling. Gambling is a serious addiction that is really our young people are struggling with. Yeah, and some of them now, it's a social use. They're in the third stage. For you to get that young man out,
It's a process.
it's a process. Number one, how do you break that cycle of that person just, spending time gambling? There must be another activity that will, and that is the sports. And then spiritually now, because there are some addictions that now affect somebody spiritually. So that's where now the evangelism takes into effect. So it's a holistic program for young people and even the older people, and also mentorship in addition to the empowerment that we've talked about.
Alright, asante tena sana Chris Kaiga and Sedo wanatuambia tu kameshika signal.
Na gia ni namba ngapi ndugu yangu Kipto?
Gia ndo tunataka kuingia gia ya 3 pale, naona tunakaribia mida ya saa 3.
Right.
Tunasema 5 minutes shy of the top of the hour, but in the meantime, remember man, we are locked in live and ready. We are chopping it up nice and easy. Of course, it's all about the youths, it's all about health, it's all about spirituality. Right. Kanisa lini mwisho ndugu?
La Sunday ndugu yangu, kwani I'm a truthful man.
Leo ukitaka kudanganya kuna
I'm a truthful mimi. Ninakwambianga hii Kenya kuna watu wawili. There are only two truthful men. Rigiji alafu na mimi Wodanita. Hao wengine
sawa tutarevisit your maneno. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for choosing us this morning. We told you we are coming in pairs, and they are also coming in pairs, which is fantastic.
Right.
And for the second round of interviews, we want to welcome our guests this morning. Tuko na Gen Z, na tuko na Gen zote, tuko na wazee na tuko na vijana. Because she's the only lady in the room. Ladies first, good morning.
Good morning.
For anyone listening to your voice this morning, who are you and what do you do in the organization?
Okay, my name is Mary Mwangi. I'm the Secretary.
Vice Secretary. Oh, you are the secretary.
Yeah.
All right. Big shoes, huh? All right. And next to her is a gentleman himself. Karibu sana sir in the morning.
Asante.
Karibu to the breakfast vibe. For anyone listening in this morning, tulikuwa tumeambia watu ni wengi labda ujitambulishe na utueleze tu kidogo tufafanulie nini wafanye.
Kwa majina naitwa Jeremiah Njoroge, mkazi wa Shanzu. I've been in Mombasa for almost 20 years. I come from Nyali Baptist, I'm born again. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm into business. And of course, I love seeing the youths, grow. And because we were once youths, so I'm excited when I'm involved with the things that shapes our future. And in the MICE, or in the Mombasa Inter-Churches Sports and Evangelism Body, I'm the vice chairman. Yes.
Asante sana bwana Chia, karibu asubuhi ya leo.
Asante.
Offer tulikuwa tunazungumza kuhusu the different types of leagues ambazo ziko pale, and I was surprised to learn kuna ligi pia ya wazee. Could you talk to us about that?
Yeah, tulisema kuokoka si kuboeka. And we also said that wazee needs to have a place in our society. When before I was born again, I used to have a lot of friends. There was social life. After a busy day, I would get people around, would hang around joints and share drinks, etc. But when I got born again, that kind of got lost. Unajua unaenda tu kanisa alafu unarudi nyumbani. Kwa kuwa umeokoka uruhusi kwenda sasa tena kwa mabaa kukunywa. So marafiki zako pia wale ulikuwa nao, you can't mingle with them again. So when I came to the church fraternity, I realized sometimes men can be lonely because there is no social life. And in that, nikaona kidogo haiendi vizuri. And so when this opportunity came, I remember the first time we met with our chairman, Collins. I found them playing. And I had mobilized a few friends of mine, and I said, why should you be watching football on Sundays and Saturday on screens? Why can't you play it? It will bring more benefit. You will be more physically fit. You will be healthier. Utakuwa sasa hauboeki. You will also get the opportunity to meet with other men, and your social life will improve. And you see, when you improve your social life, every other thing improves.
Yeah, for sure.
So we saw it as a good thing, and many men agreed to join. And so as Nyali Baptist, where I serve, also as a chairman for men, we started now the conversation. And luckily, football is universal. Today you go on the street with a ball and you just throw it, you'll see how many people will be attracted to it. So all we did is buy a football ball and identified a ground, and then we went. And since then we've never looked back. But most importantly, we've realized it has brought more positive change to this church fraternity, and also to the community, even into relationships between father and sons. Because most of the times when we go to the grounds, we go with our sons. And our sons are able now to relate with us. So that means the relationship between the elderly and the youngsters is improving.
Yeah.
You see, the reason as to why even Gen Zs today are demonstrating and bring a lot of problems is because they feel there has been a gap. The old and the young,
yes.
There was no link. Wazee wako huko, vijana wako kule, and you see, these two generations needs to work together.
Yeah.
Because being a young person, it's seasonal. At some point, you'll transit to being wazee.
Yeah.
And these wazees, at some point, they were young. So these youngsters need to know from the old or from the wazee what really happens in between, so that they can be guides. So when the link is there, then so many things goes wrong. And this is contributing also to the reason why families are falling apart, because we don't have that model kind of relationship. So this football, other than just help us in as a church fraternity, is also improving relationships in the house. Because when we go to, for example, when on Sunday, as a father, I say I'm playing against Crisco. My wife joins me and my children, and we are there while I'm on the ground. They are at the sidelines cheering.
Yeah.
Saying that they go for it.
Yeah.
It is good. And when you score, it becomes much better and
even
more
better,
nicer.
yeah.
So it is improving the relationship between families, because after the game you can find a conversation even with your wife. Pale ulikosea, pale alikutega, and that it's improving the well-being of a families. And you see, for any community to improve or to advance, it has to start from the family unit.
Right.
For sure. Now, having a Gen Z in the building, somebody who is witnessing firsthand this connection growing bigger and better, could you talk to us about your experiences so far, in terms of course, also bringing your fellow youths on board? There are those who prefer to watch movies, to be on their phones. Why is it so important for them to be out in the field and to participate in the competition?
Okay, sawa. Kitu ya kwanza, like me ka Gen Z, like me ni youth leader pale hivyo church yetu. So like there are a lot of youths, like since si tulitolewa kwa ligi church yetu.
Poleni sana.
Like kuna maboys wangu wenye nilikuwa naona, niliwaambia kama msee mmoja, sijui ni mtaji anaitwa Asto, anafanya tunasoma naye tu, anafanya civil engineering. Alimwambia sijakuona kanisa sana, lakini he's a good player. Nikamwambia uanze kutokea, kuna ligi ya kanisa. So like he started coming to church cause kutakuwa na after church tunaenda kucheza game. So like a lot of youths like started showing up. Sasa tumetolewa kwa ligi, like bado kuna next time, but bado kuna like 2 ya losers. So like for me as a youth, ama as a Gen Z, naweza sema it's football ama whichever game that sports generally ina bring social relations which are very good, because say like people hadi wewe mwenye anapenda kuwatch movies and everything, wanasema una watch movie ni sawa, but ukiweza pata place ya kwenda utaopt kwenda, then movie ukiboeka sasa zenye una place ya kwenda utawatch movie. So like people are always looking like for a place to go. So like for my teenagers, for my youth, nikuambia after this tuko na game. Watu wangeenda dish lunch, wakimaliza unapata tu msee though hajakuwa like active sana, but after mwambia tu kuna game ata show up tu baadaye. Yeah.
I love what they're saying this morning, all about politicians trying to dampen the mood. And oh yes, you Kenyans are very familiar with what I'm saying this morning. But anyway, that's not the focus of this conversation this morning. You are locked into the Breakfast Vibe Show. Mala Kipto alongside
Sudanita in the building.
You know, Wagwan. And in this building this morning, we do have very powerful gentlemen in the building. I'm talking about Mr. Atoli, Mr. Collins. We're all about empowerment. We're all about spirituality, and we're all about building a better Kenya and a better youth nation. Now, we are talking about a key sports event that will be coming your way tomorrow. We'll be letting you know when, where and how, of course, you can participate. Tumesikia kuna bizna, kuna a lot of goodies for you as young people.
Vijana na bizna pale.
Au sio?
Unataka kuuza viazi, uko na idea ya cyber, uko na idea ya kufungua hata shule, unaenda pale Crisco, wako na yani wana support vijana pale.
Vijana tunasema wanaanguka nayo,
Wanaanguka nayo. Sasa ndugu yangu Kipto, jana pale kwenye ile segment yetu ya kuna baadhi ya tabia tuachane nayo. Huwa tuko na segment yetu, we have a segment. So our listeners, they normally give us their views, or maybe their thoughts on that segment. Inaitwa tabia ambazo kwamba tunafaa kuachana navyo. Na walituambia tukifika hapa ndani tuseme bana kuna tabia tuachane nazo. Na leo niko na mapasta. Niko na mapasta hapa ndani. Niko na mapasta. Sasa kuna hizi tabia za mchungaji kupigia mshirika wake simu usiku. Watu wamelala, mchungaji amepiga simu, vipi dada Charity, bwana Yesu asifiwe, naambiwa umetumiwa majini 3, njoo tufanye ibada sasa hivi, njoo chumbani. Sijui kama mwanipata.
Nakupata kabisa.
Kuna baadhi ya sasa nyinyi ni mapasta. Je, ni sawa mtumishi kupigia mshirika wake simu usiku? Mjitetee. Nataka mjitetee kwa sababu mmemulikwa jana. Mjitetee. Ndio tuende kwa swali lingine.
Sawa.
Nafikiri kama mchungaji nataka niseme kwamba kibinafsi naamini ya kwamba si vizuri kupigia mke wa mwenyewe ama dada yoyote yule baada ya masaa fulani ya usiku. Sasa kila nyumba iko na mpangilio wake. Kuna wengine kuanzia saa 2 mlango umefungwa. Kuna wengine kuanzia saa 3, saa 4. Lakini nasisitiza sana shughuli za usiku zisitishwe, zifanyike mchana. Na nikisema shughuli nataka niwe wazi na ninukuliwe kiwazi kiukweli kwamba shughuli ni kuzungumza, hakuna mambo mengine zaidi. Kwa sababu kuna shughuli zingine zinaweza zikafanyika mchana. Kwa hivyo tabia ya simu za usiku kwa wanawake, na unajua pia unaweza kuwa mchungaji wa kike unapigia mwanamume. Kwa hivyo kama wewe ni mchungaji, tafadhali shughuli za uchungaji kama zinaweza kufanyika wakati wa mchana. Na shughuli za uchungaji za ukweli ni kwamba ni kuzungumza na mtu kwamba naye na kumpatia maarifa. Mengine zaidi ya hapo ni kazi ya yule mwovu.
Haya, tumeanguka nayo. Mr. Collins pale.
Sasa Wodanita, kwanza wacha niseme mimi si pastor, mimi ni deacon in training.
Lakini
jamaa naruka bana.
Ningependa kwanza
Mlima imeguzwa. Mlima imeshaguzwa. Sasa
swali nitajibu.
Ukisema wewe si mtu ya Mlima.
Swali nitajibu, lakini ni vizuri kuwa niweke wazi, mimi ni deacon in training. That's what I serve. I serve as a deacon in training.
Right.
But I'll say that just like any other profession in the religious circle also, we have probably a few that are not called, probably that wanajiita mapasta, lakini ni kitu wameanza wenyewe tu. Unajua kuna difference ya calling na ile kujituma wewe mwenyewe. Unaona? So kuna wale ambao wameingia katika hiyo sekta wanajiita mapasta, wanajiita majina makubwa, lakini they were not called. They were not called. They didn't have a calling for that responsibility. Na ndio maana unapata sasa those few elements wanawaribia the genuine ones who are called, who are there serving people the way as per the Bible. And sometimes of course the media people like picking for the juicy stories watapikizo ando hao na nini. So wako na mpangilio, pastors wako na mipangilio yao, how they work and so forth. And kuna wale utabook appointment, mtaenda, na saa zingine kama it's a lady watakuwa wote wawili, pastor na mke, wako na hiyo ratiba. Although pia washirika saa zingine kuna wengine utapata labda nampigia pastor very late, mtu labda na emergency fulani, kitu imefanyika anataka so pia hao wanapata hizo changamoto. Mtu amempigia, kuna kitu imefanyika, ajue ampige nani, amepigia pastor. Umeelewa? So hivyo ndo ningependa kujibu, lakini
alright, hapo umeanguka nayo. So wamejitetea, lakini ni sawa. Mlima imeguzwa, ni sawa. Haya, tunaendelea. So on to the next interesting question. It is really important to empower the youths. All corners.
Yes.
All corners, not
Absolutely.
only in the churches but
Absolutely.
also in our society, in our communities.
Absolutely.
It is very, very important, and it is good. You are in the forefront to spearhead this, even in our spiritual centers. Let me call them our spiritual centers. And now you talked about vijana na bizna. So let's say someone mtu anashiriki kanisa ingine na pengine ashiriki na nyinyi, na angependa maybe he or she is listening right now, na angependa kuungana na vijana na bizna. Kuna sheria na masharti pale ama it's free?
Okay, thank you so much. So we've done it in two ways. In terms of the member churches, they know their members, and sometimes it's also good to, as we put up maybe a place where they'll be able to sell their items, it's good just to know what items are being sold, so that also you're able to check out, so that you don't have an intruder coming with something harmful, because again, you need to be cautious, isn't it? We live in a society where you can't leave everything just like that. There must be some control aspect.
Sure,
So what we used to do is we will urge a registration, which is free. Who are you? What will you be coming with? So that if you write to us, Swadanita or Danita, I'll be coming with cake. Kipto, I'll be coming with viazis, and so forth. And you see now, if Kipto fellowships in Elim and Ian fellowships with Crisco, definitely I know Ian, I know Kipto, and the items. So in case we don't know that person, but he has already registered with us, then in case of an issue with whatever product that the person sold, then we have the contacts of that person, and we're able to follow up. Just a simple registration, and we know what item you are selling. Watu wakisema ile juice labda kidogo tumbo ile, then we are able to do that, to
trace back.
Okay. But otherwise it's free, just to empower our young people. And as I said, we have crowds more than 1,000, and also that decency of not having like a confusion, so that we create order, because again you can be able to have people during halftime. I mean, people walk around and everything, and you have a great opportunity to sell. Yeah.
All right, powerful. Definitely it doesn't take, wanasema wasole wanasema vipi, kidole kimoja hakivunji chawa,
Right.
And to get this far, it has taken a lot of efforts and collaboration.
Yes.
Who are these people you are partnering with, who are helping in one way or the other to make this dream a reality, and to help the program reach this far?
Okay.
All right. I will handle the churches that are partnering and the institutions.
Okay.
Then Brother Collins will add the corporates and any other team that is supporting us that I've not mentioned. Now, kama watu hao wako hapa and they're listening, mali huko, you can just utafanyaje, kama utaipigia kelele utafanyaje. But we have Maximum Celebration Church in Sparky that is partnering with us. We have the Kenya Assemblies of God in Chuda. We have Gateway ICC in Changamwe. We have Winners Chapel International Mombasa. Big shout out to you. We have the Bible Way Ministry. We have Elim Evangelistic Church. Watu wangu hoye.
Oh yeah.
And then we have Christ Co-workers Fellowship. Brother Collins comes from there.
Amen.
We also have Fellowship Baptist Church just opposite TUM. We have KMTC Mombasa. Vijana wa shule waliamua kucheza nasi. We have SCK St. Peter's Nyali. We have KESRA, this is Kenya Students Revenue Authority, Kenya School of Revenue Authority. We have the Crossroads Fellowship. We have Nyali Baptist. We have Kisauni Baptist Church. We have Soul Harvest Graceway Campus. We have Kiembeni Baptist Church. And finally, but not least, we have Praise Chapel. Yeah.
All right, powerful.
Yeah. So those are from the Christian family, or if you can say the broader Christian fellowship. Then we also have corporate, and allow me to start with Blue Radio. I mean, this kind of support and partnership goes a long way, and we are very grateful through Mr. Gilbert Were, and of course your wonderful team. A great support to reach out to the youths. And we have JKUAT Mombasa campus, where I work. My boss, Dr. Evelyn Dache, who is the director. Amazing support in terms of trophies and some of the gifts that we'll be giving during the finals. We have B2K security. B2K security. As we say, during the event, security is very key.
Very, very important.
So this company, B2K security, and of course a big shout out to Mr. Benson Karomo, who's the CEO. And through this company, they've given us security in both tomorrow's event and also the finals. We have guards, we have a patrol car. I mean, we have a tent of security guards, so you can imagine people come with their cars parked, security is there, and we give a big thanks to them. Then we have Aga Khan Health Services, and this is very key, because we are talking about health and lifestyle. As people are playing, this partner, of course, through Mr. Roger Pocock, who is the marketing one in charge of marketing, they're able to give health advice, health information. But apart from that, also there's some screening that they're able to do for free, and of course any injury that we come across during the sports, they're able to help us as a partner. So again, Aga Khan are on board. And then we have Bamburi Cement, and as we told you, the venue, all the games from last year, Bamburi Cement. Nowadays, when you want a field, I mean, any field, you have to pay for it.
For sure.
So you can imagine this company, I mean, we use their fields for free. So, I mean, it's a great partnership, and of course, they believe in our vision in terms of empowering young people and what we are doing, and they've been able to extend their help. And then we have Link Freight Limited. Link Freight Limited is a logistics company headed by Mr. Marco Odhiambo, believing in the vision of empowering young people. They were able to give financial support in terms of, again, the gifts and for the winners. So we give a big shout out to Link Freight Limited, and we are currently talking to a few partners that very soon will be able to. Then we have Visual Tech provided for us sound system through brother Ndege Esau. Visual Tech, thank you so much. Free sound system, we are very grateful. And allow me also to give a shout out to brother Isaac Mumo. This is somebody who was able to do some video. I believe there's a video we shared, a clip that he was able to do for mice, just to support the event, of course, through his media organization. So again, we give a big shout out to them.
Alright.
Yeah.
Naambiwa ndugu yangu Kipto, kuokoka si kuboeka.
Washasema bana, wamesema hadi tena?
Kuokoka si kuboeka.
Na ndo nashinda tu nikikuuliza.
Kuna mtu anasema ati mtu wa chai na mtu wa pombe. Ati afadhali mtu wa pombe kuliko mtu wa chai. Ati mlevi anaweza kukupiga na 1000 anakwambia toka mbele yangu. Mtu wa chai atakwambia njoo baadaye tutaongea baadaye, ngoja naenda mkutano tutaongea baadaye. Njoo kanisani ndugu yangu Kipto, kuna vitu mzuri. Mayouth wanakuwa empowered. Kuna football ya watu wazima, kuna football ya vijana.
Unajua nimesikia kanisa yangu ikuwa mentioned hapo, so I'm very proud. Mimi in fact I didn't know about that.
Sasa mimi kanisa yangu pale Repentance and Holiness pale pia nitaanza kuweka hiyo mambo. Aje pale kwetu ndugu yangu. Pale kwetu Repentance and Holiness pale kwetu.
Haya basi.
Unajua tu kivatu zile manguo zetu pale ni masuti. 24/7. Masuti. Utatoa suti saa ngapi ndugu yangu uende ucheze football?
Lazima tuende kiwanjani.
Unasikia?
Lakini kuna kitu umesema ati watu wa chai na watu wa pombe. Mtu wa pombe anaweza kupatia 1000. Mtu wa chai akupe kitu.
Wanasema huko mtaani.
Unajua tulikuwa huko. I can tell you without shadow of doubt, mtu wa pombe atakunulia pombe. Lakini umwambie akupatie pesa, inakuwa ngumu. Ana radhi ya kununulia pombe mpaka ushindwe kutembea. Lakini pesa ukapeleke unga kwako. Hiyo sawa.
Sasa wewe hausikii wa Kenya wanasema president wetu ni mtu wa chai. Na the former president alikuwa ni mtu kamnyweso, hausikii? Wanasema hata sasa afadhali ule mtu wa kamnyweso. Huyu mtu wa chai naye jamani. Mambo inazidi kuchemka.
Tuliteseka wakati huo na mpaka sasa tunateseka. Ndio maana tunaambia watu waje kwa Yesu. Kwa sababu kwa Yesu hakuna mambo hayo.
Kuokoka si kuboeka.
Yesu akisema ndio ni ndio. Akikuahidi anatenda.
Amen.
Na Biblia inasema mtegemeaye mwanadamu amelaaniwa.
Amen.
Lakini anayemtegemea Mungu ana baraka.
Amen.
Kwa hivyo kama citizens wa Kenya, I think I would advise, let's not put our focus so much on the president and the system. Let's focus on self-improvement. Let's focus on God, the creator of the universe. He's the one who knows from the day you were born your purpose, and he'll guide you through. Yes, we have responsibility as citizens to check on them, but let's not put our minds on them. We will be frustrated. Wewe angalia wale watu kila siku wanasema serikali saidia. Walisema serikali saidia kuanzia Kibaki, wakakuja Uhuru serikali saidia, bado mpaka sai. Kwa hivyo nafikiri let's put our trust on Jesus. He will never disappoint. and my fellow guys here will tell you, we were, when we were not born again, things were very different. We had trouble all through, but since we accepted him, tunaona sura zetu zimeng'ara.
Amen. Pastor, mimi
kuokoka si kuboeka, ni kung'ara.
Ndio pastor, kuokoka si kuboeka. Pastor, mimi kuna issue nataka tuongelee kidogo kuhusu Christianity. Kidogo tu tumeshuhudia mambo mengi kanisani, mara sijui pastor amepiga mshirika wake kofi, pastor amekataa sijui sadaka ni kidogo, sijui kanisa zingine ukienda kutoa sadaka watu 50 simameni huku, watu 100 huku, watu 1000 pande ile. Siku hizi mambo ni mengi makanisani. Ukweli urongo? Ukweli urongo? Jenzi. Alo, ukweli urongo?
Ni ukweli, lakini
hata ngoja, hata mtu anakaa mahali anajiuliza, ai sasa kama nimeona kwa ile video pastor amepiga mshirika wake kofi, si mimi nikienda atanipiga ngumi. Unaona, watu wanajiuliza maswali kama hayo. Mara unasikia sijui pastor amekula sadaka, sijui bibi ya pastor amelipa chama na sadaka, sijui pesa ya sijui nini. Yaani mambo ni mengi. Watu wameanza kuchukiana. Tumeona hata watu wanapigana kanisani. Si tumeona? Tumeona watu wamepigana kanisani. So my question is to you, what is Christianity? What is Christianity?
Okay, let me address kwanza hiyo issue yenye umesema hiyo ya kupigana and everything. Kitu ya kwanza, like example, sahi uko into a relationship, then an abusive relationship. Watu wengi wamesikia stories za an abusive relationship, but kama hiyo relationship yao ilikuwa like an abusive, haitakufanya wewe ukose kuingia into relationships kwa sababu umesikia story ya an abusive relationship. Of course you want to try a relationship. So the same case to church. Umesikia tu story tu ya church moja unasema sitajaribu kwenda church. Like people yani huwa sijui ikifika mambo zingine ni kama church inakuanga like secluded ama sijui nitasema nini, but ya relationship utajaribu. Employer wako akikukazia hivi, akikukelelesha, you will not quit your job. Kidogo tu mtu tuseme maybe alikuwa anapitia hardships, amekuongelesha tu vibaya kanisani, unataka kutoka kanisani, lakini job, you don't quit your job. Asubuhi tena kesho na mapema unataka kuplease your boss, umerauka job an hour earlier. So like so for me I feel like we shouldn't like judge churches because of just a few churches. There are a lot of churches out there which are doing good work.
All right. Thank
nice.
you. Thank you.
Nasikia Jay-Z anajua.
Sasa tutukuje kwa millennials. Anajua. Tuanguke nayo sasa.
Like she has said, I think the Bible is very clear that in the end times we will have so many false prophets and pastors and apostles. That is to say, one, we are at end times. Najua repentant unakotoka MC hiyo ndio mahubiri.
Tunahubiri tu toba.
Mwisho umefika.
Toba kila mahali toba.
So that is to say that it is being seen now.
Right.
It's not news.
Right.
It was prophesied long before. And you see, when a word is brought forth, is to warn people and to caution people that even as you get to these churches, test and see. The Bible says test the spirit and see before you engage. Alafu kitu ingine, you need to know the word by yourself. Don't just wait and be told. The Bible is there. You read the word and you'll understand for yourself, so that when somebody comes with his falsehood, you will say, no, but this is not what the Bible is saying or speaks about this issue. It also says that people perish because of lack of knowledge. So those who unaona wakitapeliwa, mtu anaambiwa anunue mchanga ndio apate ploti. Kuna wengine nilisikia wakisema ati njoo ununue fimbo ya Musa, ukiotesha adui anakufa. Ati ukiotesha nyumba ama gari unataka inakuwa yako. People are deceived in so many ways. And
right.
I feel a bit sorry for such people, because they are gullible, they are misused because they don't want to get knowledge for themselves. My friend has said not all churches are like that. If I'm to speak for my church, Nyali Baptist, we are a church that is believes in the Bible. It believes in people getting to know the word by themselves. And I would urge people to get to know Jesus because he's the author and finisher of everything. After all these things are said and done, it is him who will be on the judgment today, and he will judge us according to what we did. He'll not ask you who was your pastor or ulitoa sadaka ngapi. It is what you know about his word and what you did about his word. And this is what we are also saying as MICE, as Mombasa Interchurch Sports. Yeah. It's not just about sports. Mm-hmm. It's not just about football. Mm-hmm. It's also telling the youngsters and even the wazees and everyone that we need to change the way we view things. We need to put spirituality. We are spiritual beings. We need to know that this is not our place. You know so many friends that you don't see them today. You have relatives that you are with, you don't have to them today. They died. So this means there is a place that people go. Mm-hmm. And the Bible says it is appointed for man to die once, and after death, judgment. Mm-hmm. So we are trying also to focus people to see the life after this, so that we don't get so engrossed and busy with search for money and all these things that we forget our end time, because it will come. So this sports is also to encourage us so that we grow our spirituality. It is to refocus us with the word, because as the Bible says, every other thing will be folded, but only the word will remain.
It will remain for sure.
So it is a platform also to help us speak positivity to the lost, to those who are abusing drugs, and telling them, if it has worked for me, if it has worked for Mary, Gen Z, if it has worked for Collins, if it has worked for Pastor Moses, it will also work for you. We have many youngsters that were chokoras, others were drug addicts, but now they are changed. They are playing football. If you see their photos then and you see them now, you won't believe. Like the MC that will be MCing tomorrow, he was on the streets. Ukiona picha zake then and now, you'll know there is a gospel that transforms. So if you know something good that works, why not share it with others? And so MICE is also doing that we know good things, we want to also share, so that people can also see options that work. So tusiconcentrate na wale ambao wanafanya ubaya, wale wanaswindo na nini. Waje hapa MICE wakute watu ambao wana they are following Christ for who he is. Wakristo, si mambo ya manipulation.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
As we conclude, this is, I believe, the second season or the second round of competitions.
Yes.
Maybe for those, for like us, for example, Blue Radio who missed, how can we, watch out for maybe the third round, the fourth round? How can we watch out for such, and how can we, come on board, please?
I think we're encouraging. Like I said, it's once you know a good thing, if you're a good person, you will share it out. So this is gospel we are bringing to all that are willing to listen, and we are using sports to do that. And we said that this sport is also giving us other good things, like the issue of health. We've seen tremendously improvement on people's health. Like myself, I was 120 kilogram, if you had seen me some years ago. And since I joined the football, I've shed about 10 kilograms. So it is improving me and my health. So mambo ya sukari, chumvi na pressure kupanda na nini wazee zimepungua. So if it is working for us, we also sharing. It is also another good way of interacting one to another. relationships between men is also growing. Before I joined this, my network of men was limited to a certain number. But when we added all these churches and we started interacting with all these men, I've grown my portfolio of the contacts that I have.
Yeah, sure.
And this platform are also helping us to relate in terms of business. Like I get to know Collins does this, Pastor Moses also is involved in this, the other man is in transportation, and it grows our network.
Right.
So I know if I need a certain service, I can get it to this man, to that man. So it brings so many other good things.
Right.
And it is good. So we are also encouraging Blue Radio,
Yes.
that you also form a team. It will help to interact, to grow your interrelations.
Right.
When IMC, najua mnakutanaga hapa, mkikutana kwa uwanja akupige gwara, ndio utajua ukweli wa huyu jamaa.
Right.
Ujue his character.
Right.
So it's going to improve relationships that you have.
Yeah.
Maybe the others that are working in various departments. When you play together, it improves your interactions.
Yeah.
And when it improves your interactions, it improves your working relationship.
Right.
And it also improves your productivity.
Yeah, sure.
You'll start seeing more ideas coming, creativity. You'll see cohesion, kugongana. Mkicheza na bosi wako pia utarealize kumbe si mbaya as such. Na yeye pia tunaona kumbe kijana is not as bad as that. So it's actually building so many things. So any church that is out there that would want to join, we welcome them. We have a first Facebook page called Mice. They can also reach out to our chairman. I think he'll share his number. It's not a seclusion kind of thing. It's open to all. Even those people who are unchurched and they're in like the community.
Yes.
Watu wa bodaboda wakijitengeneza, watengeneze football team. Let them come. We'll interact with them. We'll play.
Right.
We'll share what we know. If they see it's good, they will join.
Right.
You see? It's not just a reserve of the church fraternity. It started with us, but we're also reaching out. You see, a church is part of the community.
Yeah.
And community is a composition of many people, different. And so it's an interactive kind of platform we're raising. It will also help us improve inter-religion and inter-tribe. Because if you're playing with a Kalenjin or you're playing with Kikuyu, you'll interact well.
Yeah.
So hii issue ya tribalism and all these things will not haitakuwa. Upendo utazidi.
Yeah.
And the love for the game will grow and we'll see each other as fans. I've never seen a Manchester United fan wakianza kuulizana we ni kabila gani when they are in the jerseys of Manchester. They are one family, irrespective of where one comes from, irrespective of whether you're learned or you're not learned.
Right.
And that's the universal language you're trying to push across.
Interesting.
So every church, every member of the community, they are welcome to join.
Interesting.
All right. Thank you so much. Naona muda umetupa kisogo. We'd like to switch into something different, but more importantly, like to remind anyone that has missed or is joining us right now that this conversation will be available on Spotify and on YouTube. You can pick it up, listen to it, and of course know what to do, where to do it, and how to do it. But as we exit, I'd like to hear from the secretary one more time. Where is the competition happening? What time? Where can somebody come? How should I be dressed? Should I come with water? Or should I just bring myself?
Okay, so the competition itakuwa Bamburi Cement Ground, Baobab, opposite Bamburi Cement. Competition inaanza saa 2 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah, kutakuwa na 8 different churches, but hata pia si wenye tulitolewa kwa ligi, bado tutajipeleka, tuende tukaone wengine vile wanaendelea.